Yeah, but actually, like we have like expanses, I think, from Ireland, right? And then yeah, but actually,
Carl,
we have
I think you were from
like
UK, right? Carl? By the way, hi Carl.
expanses, I think, from Ireland, right? And
Hey, howdy.
then
Hey,
Yeah,
Gaian.
we have another guy from Norway, from
who I
UK.
wonder where he is.
What?
He's away.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Civ is at.
Is Ruby coming today?
She's a maybe because apparently she had some issues with her roof leaking.
Oh.
Yeah, so she might be caught up because of that. But Kale didn't say he was missing, but he seems like he's away right now.
Yeah,
I don't
Ruby,
know.
actually, I've just seen Ruby said she needs to cancel. Looks like I need to cancel. That's like literally just now she's written that.
Alright, so yeah, I think we'll be down her, but we should still have Kale, hopefully. We'll give him a few minutes. But yeah, Braz, I will try to introduce your guy as soon as possible.
No worries.
I think we pretty much went over your backstory and why you're going to be here, so it's just having to figure out how I bring you in, which I have no idea. Alright, let me send Kale a message. While we wait a minute, we can enjoy the relaxing music. Seems like it's much louder than usual.
I think, like I just checked the settings. I think they've changed it.
Oh, maybe that's why.
If you take a look at settings in Roll20, it has a bit of different. Like they have little drop downs and.
Oh yeah, it looks like a whole new UI. Interesting.
Oh, probably they've reset. Yeah, because probably those settings were in your cookies, so they've reset it.
I wonder if they fixed all the disconnection issues that we were having.
Huh. Were you guys having issues with Roll20 last time you played?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not too many, just a few.
yeah, exactly. I've seen a bunch depending on what time you play at. Like some of the weekends, especially, there's been some lag and issues with probably the servers, I would assume.
Yeah, because I just got kicked off twice.
Like just now?
Yeah, I had to load back in twice.
Huh.
What I was trying to do, I was trying to go to settings and set it so that it was just the names only at the bottom.
Oh, it sounds like someone is echoing in the background. Did you figure that out? I figured that out. It was kind of hidden.
Yeah, because they looks like they changed the interface under. Where is that?
Yeah, if you go to, I think it's audio and video and click on the video display tab, that's where you change that. Because there's two tabs there, so that threw me off at first.
You know, I didn't see that second tab. You're right.
Yeah. because you definitely want to, since we don't use the video, you want to have the names only, save some real estate.
Here we go. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So it looks like Civ says he's running late because he's doing, he was doing some last minute errands, so we could probably get started.
Yep.
So Chandra was the previous scribe. It was your turn again this week because you took over for Ruby, but it looks like Ruby being out again. Is anyone interested in, or do you want to scribe a second time for another point, or would you like to see if anyone else wants to do it?
I would give it to just to share the inspiration point if someone wants.
Does anyone else would like a crack at doing story for an inspiration point? Alright, well, it sounds like
I'll give it a shot.
Or sorry, what did you say?
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, yeah, sure. If you're down, basically you just take some notes on what happens in the game. You can either do it like as a little story, you could do bullet points, basically whatever you feel like doing. But in Discord, there's a folder called Journal, and you just kind of make a post there.
You got it.
Yeah, but now after game 6, like we are not taking anything less than a poem.
Yeah, the standard was set pretty high by our unfortunately deceased bard.
Yeah, dead bard. The dead bard.
I found his journal later with his beautiful poetry. Yeah. Which reminds me, actually, Ren is not here anymore, and Amra is now. What's your new name?
Bombrek. Smuggress.
Oh, I'm just gonna put Bombrek.
Yeah.
At least for my notes here. Or Brombrek. Okay, I spelled that wrong. And now we also have Braza. So I'll put Braza in. Alright, so it is Chandra's turn, but Braza is taking over. Chandra, do you want to give us a quick recap of last game to kick things off?
Yeah, I need it as well. So maybe also. Game started when Carl was scouting out the enemy camp at night, while we were taking a long rest and discussing the strategy of engaging our enemy lizards. After a heated discussion, we decided that Ran will be distracting the lizard folk from the camp by starting a forest fire, which he was really good at. And we would wait for a scouting party from lizards to just split away to go check the fire, and then we can attack them and hopefully have a little bit less of them to fight. It went as planned. Ren has done some magic and made the forest fire like a mile away, and we waited for a group of lizards to depart to check on the fire and ambushed the remaining lizards. But the fight, it's really good that we've done that, because has it not been for those lizards that we have kited away, we would probably have all died, because even without them, it was a very hard battle. We, in the end, we succeeded and we were victorious. But sadly, Amra had to pay the price, and he paid with his life. Our beautiful, talented bard Amra. And yes, so basically we had one death in our party, and then we freed the prisoners. Unfortunately, we could not free all of them, but we freed some of them, and then we all ran to kind of take care of our wounds into friendly lizard folk camp, where we have taken a rest and where we currently reside.
All right, so it would be the next morning. You've all woken up feeling much better, rested. Ileman would approach Chandra and say, I think we should probably get these people back to Dragon's Reach as soon as possible.
Yes. Do you think you can handle that, or do you think we need an escort?
It would probably be best to for you all to come, just so you can let the town know what's going on. We might be at war with these lizard folk now, and they might be able to better tell us kind of what to do next or give us guidance. But of course, it's up to you. I think, he says, I'm a little bit hesitant escorting this many people through the swamps, so an escort would be appreciated regardless.
Probably we need to do this, but I will turn to the rest of the party and I will ask what's... Like, I feel we haven't finished our job. I haven't seen the croc. I haven't seen the giant crocodile. What's up with that?
Who are you talking to?
I'm just generally to the rest
just
of
to the
like
general.
to Carl, to Alien, but now I guess only to Carl from those who were there.
Sure. Well, actually, everyone is there. So Civ maybe, what's his name? Your big fighter guy, Kalen. Kalen might cross his arms and kind of shrug. He would say, "Well, if we don't know where it is, I'm not sure what the next step would be." He looks to Carl and says, "Did you see any tracks there? Any possible way of following the beast? Maybe they moved it somewhere, or maybe it moved somewhere."
I didn't check at the time. I was at night. It was a bit too dark to find anything, and during the day we're fighting, so didn't really have the time to check everything out.
Makes sense.
I think right now, like my concern is that in a way we kind of agreed with the shaman and with the leader of the lizard folk camp that we would help with an alligator, but we didn't. So yeah, we've crippled like quite a big group of them, but we have not done anything to help with the actual thing that they requested us to help with.
Ruby nods. She says, "Well, maybe we should talk to the chief about it. See what he thinks."
Well, yeah, we will talk to the chief, and I will approach the chief.
Alright, so as you're kind of getting ready to go and speak with the chief, you hear a bit of a commotion outside coming from somewhere to the north, so near the front gate of the lizard folk town.
I will watch the other lizard folk. Are they alerted? Like, do they seem like they're worried?
So you look out of the tent. A couple of lizard folk are standing there talking. They don't seem too concerned. It sounds like there is a loud, I don't want to say yelling, but very enthusiastic speaking coming from someone near the gate. And it sounds like common. Like they're talking in common, whoever it is.
Shall we go check, Carl?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Alright, so you head over that way, and as you kind of get to the gate, you would see a couple of lizard folk standing around a dwarf. What does the dwarf look like? Brombeck.
The dwarf looks large, muscly, but with a real good layering of flab over that muscle. He's hairy, not really wearing very much. A loincloth, some what you think is possibly a bear skin or an animal skin on him. He's very broad as he is wide, and he's got a long beard with sort of tassels on the moustache part. He's holding on to he has over his back an axe that looks like it's too big for him.
So you would or go ahead.
No, that's pretty much what he looks like. He has a few interesting things on him. He's also very hairy.
All right. So he's speaking to one of the lizard folk in common, who's trying to speak back to him, but not doing the greatest job, as these lizard folk don't speak common well. The guard looks at you and kind of the rest of your people as you approach, and he says, could you help translate, perhaps?
Sure. I will go stand between those two and try to translate.
All right. So what were you saying, Brombeck?
Have you seen the Kraken Slayers? Is what I was saying. Have you heard of or seen the Kraken Slayers?
I will translate it to the lizard.
The lizard folk looks a bit confused and looks at you and says,
It's smirk a little bit.
these are Kraken Slayers, he says.
I will put my hand on the lizard fox shoulder, and I will say, okay, I think they're looking for us. I'll take it from here.
Right. I will say I've been looking for you for a few for quite a while now, as I believe you're an enemy of the Sassenach god.
Oh yes, like even if we haven't been before, we're definitely now. By the way, I'm Chandra.
Hi, I'm Bombrek from the Ursidai tribe.
I put out my hand. Let's shake it.
Yeah, well, I'll grab your hand. Pleased to be of service to you. I say as I shake your hand.
Ouch.
And then I'll say, yes, I've been searching for you. It's a long story. It's a long story, but I'm basically out for these people in the Sassenach tribe. I heard a few days ago. I heard a few days ago about a group called the Kraken Slayers, and I have been looking for them because killing everybody of the Sassenach god is not a one-person job.
Sure isn't, Kale says. Well, I thought a small halfling looks at you and says, I didn't think there were any dwarves on this continent. You say that you come from a tribe in the mountains up north.
That's right. Yeah, I'm from a tribe up in the north. We live on up in the mountains, on the edge of mountains. We tend to keep ourselves to ourselves. We don't actually go out for a few months of the year because we hibernate.
Elves, dwarves, this continent is full of surprises.
But honestly, like it would be like it's really nice to have a local because we are all here and we are kind of all from far away, and sometimes it's really like we're lacking someone who is from around here and who can show us around. So it's really great we're here.
Well, that's kind, but I don't really know my way around here. Where I live is quite far north. We don't really travel that far. But I came down this way because my shaman warned me of something happening, so I need to see to it for my tribe.
She nods. Well, as my friend Chandra here said, we are no friends to the Sassenach lizard folk. So, perhaps you've come to the right place.
It would seem so. An enemy of the Sassenach folk is a friend of mine.
She gives Chandra a bit of a questioning look.
I will turn to the dwarf and I will ask. It's not that it needs a lot of explanation. But, like, what exactly is your beef with Sasinak? Is it like a religious opposition or
With what? Sorry.
with Sasinak?
What's your beef with Cessnack? I think he asked.
It's my shaman, my revered shaman had a vision, and that vision has some terrible tidings. It came as a warning, and a warning that I must act upon.
Well, that makes sense. Like, to me, they're just a demon-worshipping assholes trying to kill us. That's enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not really a religious tribe, although our shaman does get visions granted to him, and those visions have tended to always be spot on. So this is a most serious case.
But honestly, like, can I offer, like, do you want to travel with us? Because the enemy of Sasinak is actually, like, my friend. I honestly, we are always in need of some strong hands, because those guys can be anywhere.
I'd be very happy to travel with you, as long as you don't ask for any of my honey. He says.
Well,
Is this
what kind of honey is it?
Is this an euphemism or something?
No, he takes out a wrapping of honey, sniffs the airs, scratches his back on the
Smells
side
very good.
of the gate, and takes a lick of it and puts it back in his backpack.
Now I have
I
a
was not-
question. Does that honey smell alcoholic at all, or is it?
No. It's
Plain old-
forest. It's forest honey. No, it's never plain old honey. There's no such thing.
It smells very
And
sweet.
now I want to try that. Now Carl wants to try the honey.
You're not gonna try this honey. What does Carl look like, out of interest?
Well, he's like, what? He's how tall is he again? I think he's like 3 feet or something. So you're 3 feet halfling.
Yeah,
So
him and Ruby.
how tall are you? How tall is the dwarf?
The dwarf's about 4'6".
Damn. Okay.
It's a little taller. So, Kale would kind of give you a look and say, "Well, you look like you can handle yourself in a fight, but we must warn you, this is dangerous work. We've lost a friend recently, and if you can't handle yourself, I don't want to be responsible for another person's death."
I can handle myself. If you knew what we had to go through in our tribe, you would understand.
Fair enough. All right, I like him.
Yeah, I like him as well, as well. But now all I can think about is honey.
Ruby is kind of eyeing your honey pack now.
Yeah, and he's he carries on scratching his back against the side of the wall, and starts sniffing the air.
All right, so maybe you all speak for a moment when Ioman comes over and says, "Well, I spoke with the people. Oh, who's this?"
Enemy of Satinak, which means our friend.
Is he from? Did he come from Dragon's Reach?
No, he is from the mountains and I point to the north.
Says, "Oh, there are dwarves on this continent. Interesting. Well, welcome, friend. But I was just saying, the prisoners who we saved seem like they are well enough to walk, though at a slower pace, as they're still a bit, suffering from some exhaustion from their ordeal. But I think we're ready to go whenever the group sees fit.
Yeah, I think we need to go. I agree. I thought about it for a while, and I think we need to get those people to Dragon Rage. Like it's not good to let them wait here with all their wounds and exhaustion just for us to finish the crocodile. We can always go back and finish the crocodile because there is like it's not a pressing issue as it was with them captive.
Well, I mean, but what if my character is gonna start, like, acting very panicked and be like, "Well, we should take care of that crocodile, though, because I'm sure they can go on their own. We don't have to go back to Dragon Age just yet."
Through the swamps? I don't know. There's lots of danger in the swamps for me to lead them all through myself.
But the crocodile, it will not go away. It will still be there. We can go back, just make sure the people are safe, and we still have a work to do, and we can go back. I don't know how much it will take us, and maybe someone will die from their like an infected wound or something. I'm trying to. I'm looking at you a little bit suspiciously, like why do you want to kill this crocodile so urgently?
Well, it could, it's a danger. What if it gets closer to anybody else's base, camp, or anything? It's something serious.
Well, what would you suggest, Cal says? How would we find this crocodile? If we're not going back to the town, how would we seek out a crocodile that isn't where we thought it should be?
Well, if we go back to... Well, no, actually, we can't go back to where the prisoners were. I'm guessing there's gonna be way more of them.
Possibly. That could be dangerous. Remember, they did have a group that survived. They could be going for reinforcements.
Fine, I guess we can go back. But, like...
Cal shrugs. He says,
I think we go back. We just regroup a little bit. Maybe restock some of provisions. Maybe buy something, get the reward, and then we go back. Because this whole assassinate things is far from over.
all right.
I think our friend sorry, I forgot your name.
Bombrek is the name. Yes, I'm not interested in killing some crocodile. The only thing I'm interested in is killing Sassanat folk.
Well, the crocodile is a beast of the Sassanek tribe, Cal says. So, it is a tool that they could use against us or these lizard folk. It's not a bad idea to kill it. I just don't know if there's a good way to find it right now.
Yeah, and we definitely need to kill it because not only is it their weapon.
You don't know. I was going to say you don't know where the crocodile is.
Well, we were told where it should be, but when we got there, it was not there. They just had normal crocodiles and a bunch of prisoners they were feeding to the crocodiles.
It sounds like a fool's folly, searching around for a crocodile where you don't know where it is.
Well, to be fair, it's a big crocodile. It's like...
you should have found it by now.
20 feet. But yeah, it's also a big forest. Or swamp.
Yes, it is a large swamp. I'm tired of my feet getting caught in the mud.
Yeah.
It would be nice to go to Dragon's Reach for a short time.
Yeah. Let's just go there. Let's just stretch our legs, just have a good night's rest, and then just maybe buy some more inventory, and then we'll go back. We go back and we discuss. Because this whole Sessimac thing, we need to finish it. Maybe we hired more people, and who knows what will happen in Dragon's Reach. We just need to look at all those poor prisoners. They're in no shape to be stranded somewhere in a forest. They need to get to civilization.
Ioman nods. He says, agreed. All right, so is the group going to do anything else before they try to travel back to Dragon's Reach?
I'm not gonna roleplay it too much. I'll just also say our thoughts to the shaman that we will escort the prisoners to the city, and then we think we'll be back to finish the deal.
All right. Did I give the shaman a name?
I don't recall. Do we have a note with all the names?
I don't see a character here.
Let me see.
All right. Well, the sharp scale shaman nods when you say that. He says, "This does not bode well that they move the crocodile, but I understand. I will look forward to your return later, and we'll keep an eye out for it. But be careful. The Sessanek have marked you as an enemy. They could send more ambushes.
Yeah.
Or even attack your town directly.
That's one of reasons to actually warn them as well.
Alright. So the group is going to travel south. Is that right?
Is Ren with us, or is he...
Yeah, Ren's with you. Everyone's with you. All 6 of you are together. But actually, that's what I was going to say. So Ren would approach as you're talking about heading south, and he would say, I think I'm going to stay here for now. I want to get a better idea of what's going on with these lizard folk tribes. So I was going to stay with the shaman and help them a bit on the behalf of the Dragon's Reach colony. It'll also give me time to study these swamps a bit more.
Sure. It looks like they know something about your people. Probably a good idea.
Nods and says, good luck to you, and I hope I see you again soon.
Yes, but before we do that, and I point to the staff, do you really need it?
Give me a perception, a persuasion roll with advantage.
Not good, not my strong suit.
He says, yes, you will probably need this more than I. I was thinking I could use it to help in the event of the lizard folk being wounded, but you will probably come upon much danger. So he kind of reluctantly hands the staff off. He says, and I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for the group, so I will have to find another magical walking stick. He smiles.
Stay safe, and say hi to your fire guy.
He says, I will. You stay safe as well, friend. The crocodile, it's just it is a very large crocodile with seemingly possibly powers imbued by Sessanek himself. Alright, so the group is heading south, traveling through the swamp. Give me a d20 roll, someone. Also, is anyone else hearing a little bit of like a weird echo, or is that just me?
Let me try. That might be me. Let me try to fix that.
Okay.
Are you still getting echo now?
Well, it's not constant. It's just every now and then I hear like a little noise in the background. I don't know if I'm the only one that's hearing that, or if anyone else is, but
I don't think I hear any.
I don't hear.
Okay, maybe it's just something with my sound then. 12. Alright, so question for Braza. How would you want to approach the party? Would you more like try to stealthily like watch them for a bit, or would you just come right out and approach them?
Well, after they left the shaman, I would wait for them to get maybe a couple hundred yards away, and then he would sort of be running up behind them from the village as well. Even sort of waving his hands, going, hold on.
Alright, because I wasn't thinking that your character was in the village, but I guess you could have arrived there as well.
Yeah, he had heard rumors of the Kraken.
Words
The
getting
Kraken
around.
port.
The Kraken Slayers.
Yeah, the Kraken Slayers, and so he came from sort of a swamp area back to his hometown of Sharpscale to look for them.
Ah, all right. So actually, let me rewind a bit then before you, before you're leaving. So basically, the sharp scale, growing kind of fond of your group, is kind of seeing you off. The shaman and all his people are there talking to you. When a lizard folk comes running into town, so what would you look like?
So he's about 6'7". He's got he's like 6'4". He's like 230 pounds. So he's kind of bulky. He's got obviously green, scaly skin. He has a red and yellow. I think it's called like a trough that kind of goes from the top of his head back, along with a pointy spike on the top, a horn. He's got like blue and gray kind of flowing cape and robe. He has a shield, a wooden shield attached to his back, and he has a scimitar on his belt, along with some other sort of bags and pouches. And he doesn't have any shoes, and he's waving his hands.
All right. So as this lizard folk approaches, the sharp scale shaman says, "Ah, Braza, it's been a long time." So you come running up. What are you gonna say?
And that was the shaman speaking, right?
Yes. He smiles
And
at you and pats you on the shoulder.
And we don't know his name?
His name is... I thought I gave him a name, but I'm not finding his character. So his name is...
Drumroll.
Susha.
Usha. So Braza comes up and says, dear Susha, it is very good to see you again. How have you been?
Are you speaking in lizard folk or common?
I'm speaking in common because I know that there are people around that do not speak lizard folk, and I wouldn't want to be rude.
All right, so he replies, things have been taxing, but our tribe survives. What brings you back to the village? Have you been doing well out in the wilds?
I have been doing well out in the wilds, learning much more about the nature of this area and the fauna and the flora, and understanding, my special connection to fire and being able to control it more, as well as understanding the nature of wind and growth of plants. But I've heard through many travelers I've come by of the ongoing problems of the night roots, the corrupted ones, those of Sassernak.
Yes. Go ahead.
And being a loyal member of this village, this community, even though I've been away long, it has always been aligned with everyone here. So I felt it was time to come back, to see if I could lend some help. And along my way, though, I heard from another traveler of a group called the Kraken Slayers.
He nods. He says, word has apparently gotten around of you, as he looks to the group.
Oh.
I raise my hand. Hi.
Hello, is this the Kraken Slayers, this group right here?
Yes, they just helped us deal with a Sassenach slave outpost to the east, and they were about to head back to their main town to the south.
The Sassenach are now taking prisoners?
Yes, both ours and theirs. They are from across the sea.
I knew that the Sassenach were raiding, and their crocodiles have been a menace. But I did not know that they were also kidnapping now. And so this group here has rescued some.
Yes, they mostly. I think you all had just saved your own people, right? Were there any wizard folk prisoners? I'm blanking on that.
Saved everyone in the cage. I don't recall
Yeah.
if we ever distinguished who.
He says they had saved many of their own people who were taken as slaves during a Cessnac raid.
Well, then I am hearing more and more and learning more about the strength and daring do of this group. As you are now rescuers, heroes.
Oh, you're flattering us.
Yes, I am.
I like this person, says Pombrick.
The big old dwarf as he hoists his weapon. The large human, whose name escapes me again, Kalen, looks at you and looks at the group and says, who's spreading word of us that all these people know who we are?
Where the rumors begin and where they end, I would not know. I just pick them up in the middle.
Says, Arma must have made quite an impression on the tribe here. God's rest his soul.
Yeah. God's rest his soul.
He says, well, I don't know. Are you here to help us fight the evil Cessnac cultists?
Yes, that is precisely the reason I came back here, was an awareness, an understanding that it was time for me to step up, to end my time sort of learning and growing spiritually, and to come back and lend my skills and abilities to help get rid of the Sassenach, the Night Roots, the corrupted ones.
He says, well, I will ask you what I asked the dwarf. Can you handle yourself in a fight?
I am not great with a sword, but you will learn that I have many abilities to harness the wind, to harness fire, heat, to make the ground move below you, and many others. And I'm also a renowned healer, which has been always the main thing that I provide to travelers I meet on the road to earn some extra food. And I assure you that will become very helpful to this group.
Ruby.
If only we had you with Amra, would be good.
Yeah,
Good evening.
Good evening. Ruby adjusts her glasses a bit. All right, she doesn't have glasses. Ruby smiles up at you and says, are you a druid of some kind?
I think that's what, in common, that's often referred to as a druid, yes. One who is very much in tune to the powers of nature. And mine in particular, my family has been brought up to be what a lot of what we do in my family traditionally has been to help control the landscape. So we do controlled burns and wind to control the direction of it, to create more wetlands, or if an area gets too big, to help bring it down, to clear land for new huts. But yes, we've always been believed in regrowth and rebirth, and so I have a special connection to fire.
It sounds like you're pretty knowledgeable in the ways of nature.
Yes.
Oh, that's actually something our group has been lacking.
Well,
the last druid we've had was rubbish in nature.
It was rubbish in nature?
Yes, he skipped all of the classes he had.
I laugh at that. I assure you, I am the opposite of it.
Well, I value nature.
Ruby nods. She says, "He seems like he could be of help to us if he has magical abilities."
I promise you, I will.
I think especially now when we need to escort prisoners to Dragon's Reach, and we know for sure that the Sasinak followers are aware of us, and there is a very big chance of ambush. So any hands that can help would be extremely valuable to us.
And again, an enemy of thine enemy is thy friend, and I am the corrupted ones are very much my enemy.
Well, I would argue with this statement, but in this particular case, yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Can you improve the weather for our journey down to Dragon's Reach?
I can keep us warm with some fire. I can blow some wind to keep us cool if it gets too hot.
Can you predict the weather?
No, I can't predict the weather. Not with any good assurances of truth. I'm still learning.
I think Druid can do this. But anyway.
All right. So at this point, you all speak for a while, and were you all going to head south now?
Yep.
Or was there?
Let's get these prisoners down there.
Let's get these people back to Dragon's Reach. All right. So Yeah. So you will be doing some guiding, or you'll need to do some pathfinding through the swamps. So I'll need up to 2 survival checks from the group. Any 2 of you.
Yeah.
My die.
Give that a go. I'll give that a go.
Who has high survival? I have a 4.
A 4 as well.
Oh, you can go then.
Oh, I've whispered it, unfortunately.
I got 1 roll from Bombreck, so I can take
What-
1 more roll.
What about on your druid? Do you have survival?
I have a 5.
Yeah, so Braza...
There you go.
Perfect.
So Braza and Bombreck looks like they work together, and you guys...
What in
probably
your
need to-
part of the... Yeah. What in your part of the woods? So maybe you can lead us back?
I would be
Sorry, go ahead.
delighted to do so, as a way of showing my appreciation for letting me join your group.
Alright, so yeah, he's actually doing a very good job leading you through the swamps, avoiding those boring leeches and all the other nasty things in the swamp. Make sure you 2 set yourselves to not whisper, though, just so people can see your rolls. So you are headed... Sorry, what was that?
One thing.
Did someone say something? It was really cut off.
Yeah, it was Ravati.
How do I turn off?
Oh, Braza. So you go to your sheet on the cog tab. There's a option to never whisper rolls. It should be. Do you see that?
Never whisper roll on cog.
Yeah, I think you're cutting in and out a bunch, Braza.
All right, I got it.
All right. So you are traveling south. Give me a D20 roll, someone.
Before we start traveling, I wanted to do one thing. I will turn to Kalen, and I will hand him the stuff, and I would say that unfortunately our druid friend, decided to part with us and stay in the village and help lizard folks and talk to them, and he wants to find something out about his people. But he was generous enough to leave this with us. Do you think you can handle it after a while? And I show you the stuff of healing.
Sure. I'll have a look at that.
I feel like you are a man of faith, so I think you should be able to deal with this one.
Alright, and this is Braza?
No,
Yeah.
this
That's
is
Kalen.
Oh,
This is
Kalen.
for-
Okay. Alright, so Kalen takes that staff.
Can I find it somewhere to add it to my sheet, or?
I think if you search the compendium for
Yeah, exactly.
Staff of Healing, you should be able to click and drag it onto your sheet. And it does take an hour to attune it. Okay, so do you want to attune to it before you leave, or are you just going to do that later?
If possible, yeah.
Do you want to delay your journey by an hour?
I would probably have given it to Kevin before if
If
he
I'd
was,
been present.
yeah.
Alright, so we'll say you did that at some point and then are leaving south. And someone give me a d20 roll. Let's see if anything happens during the journey.
Oof, ooh.
Oh,
I need to change my picture, so I'll be back.
So as you're traveling, what's the party's, or I guess what's the high passive perceptions that you all have?
I think mine is it 13 or
14.
14? Let me check.
14?
14.
Braza 15.
15. Alright, so Braza, do you have knowledge nature trained?
Knowledge of nature?
Yeah, just the nature skill, basically.
Do you have proficiency?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Alright,
Ironic.
so...
Bombrek has
So do I.
14 perception but he also has perception, like trained in it.
Yeah,
Right.
but it was a question of knowledge nature trained.
Oh yeah, he's got knowledge as well. He's got nature as well.
Okay, so as you're walking, Braza, kind of leading the group, doing a pretty good job of pathfinding, you come upon some strange-looking flowers in the swamp that you aren't too familiar with.
Do I?
You kind of notice them off to the side, but you don't think anyone else has seen them. Do you want to say anything, or just keep going?
I just sort of glance at them like, huh, that's interesting. Haven't seen them before, but I keep walking, not thinking anything of them.
Okay, so you continue going.
But did you say it out loud, or?
No, I don't even
No.
bother. I just
No.
flowers.
Just think.
That's
yeah,
fine.
Those look interesting. Alright, so you continue going, and actually the first day would pass without issue. So go ahead and spend a day's worth of rations, everyone.
All right.
And the second day would also pass pretty quietly. Bringing
Um,
yeah.
I've got the Wanderer feature, so I find food and fresh water for myself and up to 5 other people each
alright.
day,
So then you would be able to feed the party. So no, never mind.
provided, yeah,
Yeah.
provided
So
that the land offers berries, small game.
So
such.
you wouldn't need to spend rations as one of your people. Cal is finding food for everyone.
Yeah, mostly I'm a trapper, so I carry this hunting trap around and set it up at night when we're making camp and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So you arrive at Dragon's Reach. The guards seem a little jumpy when they see you approaching. When you get closer and they see who you are, they welcome you. They say- yeah.
Before they see me, I would like to stealth behind the tallest of us.
Okay. Give me a stealth
be
check.
on-
That'll be me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're definitely the widest.
it's probably me. Yeah.
Alright, sure. So you're hiding behind some of your people. Very well hidden. So they wave to you as you approach. They see you have all the prisoners, and they would be extremely happy, but also a little concerned because you have a lizard folk with you.
Yeah, and I sort of, when we get close to Dragon's reach, I sort of would have backed up a little bit and said, I think one of you should probably be in the front now, as they might be a little suspicious of my presence.
Sure.
Fair enough.
All right, so the group approaches. You're all kind of, I guess, waving as the gate is opened and several guards come out, and one of them says, Dragon Slayers, you've returned, and it seems you have helped free some prisoners. We thought
Kraken
these people
Slayers.
were dead. Or, sorry, Kraken Slayers, yeah.
Well, we've been upgraded. It's fine.
Yeah, we thought these people were dead. Where did you find them?
Long story. There is an evil demon worshipping lizards in the swamps, and they were holding them captive and trying to feed them to alligators. So crazy story. But we managed to save them. And I point to Braza, don't mix them up with the good lizard folk, which also exists. So let's not start judging lizard folks on their appearance, and the good ones can actually prove to be our allies in the fight with the evil worshippers.
All right. So as he's talking, I would say Braza, and actually anyone with a passive perception of 14 or over, you might notice that the front gate looks like it's taken some damage recently. There are a bunch of chips, and looks like something burned it a bunch. So the soldiers would look at each other a bit nervously and say, well, after you left, we did sustain an attack. Whoever the evil lizard folk are, I guess, did come against the gates and were trying to get in. Luckily, we managed to fight them off, but I'm guessing we made an enemy of them.
That sounds horrible.
He nods.
When exactly did it happen?
He says it actually happened yesterday evening, so fairly recently.
Question:
Yeah.
Do the Saturnac lizard folk, do they have like a certain insignia or
Yes, they do.
anything that they wear in common that sort of identifies them?
So there are several different tribes that have banded together, and it kind of varies. It kind of varies from tribe to tribe, but there are kind of a collection of symbols that those tribes employ. Because the Sessnek worshippers aren't necessarily one tribe, but more of like a collective of different tribes who've kind of given their loyalty to Sessnek.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
The Night Root are one of them, but there are a couple.
Ah, okay. That's what I didn't pick up on. Okay. Thank
Night
you.
Root are the kind of local ones.
Okay.
So he says, yeah, it happened last night, actually. We had our people on guard, and suddenly the gate was rushed by several groups of lizard folk burning and chopping at it. We fired arrows, and finally they managed to fall back when they couldn't get through right away, but the town is concerned. The leadership has been discussing what to do next, and they wondered if maybe what the Kraken Slayers did have anything to do with these hostilities.
Well, did you manage to kill off any of them, or did you just chase them off?
He says, well, I know we wounded several, but they escaped before we could kill off any. We mostly just fired arrows down on them.
Which direction did they go?
Honestly, Kraken Slayers did what they were asked to do, meaning deal with the lizard folk attacks, which we did.
He nods.
We stumbled onto some nasty lizard folk who ambushed us in the jungle, and then we happened upon some more friendly natured ones, and they asked us for help. And we originally intended to just return before going through with it, but then we got ambushed again, and we heard of these prisoners, so we turned back around and
So you
slaughtered a bunch of nasty lizard folk, holding them prisoners. They were sacrificing them to the crocodiles and feeding them to the crocs. So we felt like we don't have a choice. We're already at war with this bunch, so.
He says, "Well, don't think I'm questioning you at all. I was just curious, as we didn't really know much about what was going on. I think Alfred would probably want to speak with you. You can let him know what's going on."
Fair enough.
I'm glad
they started the hostilities. We were justified in our actions, I believe.
He says, "Of course, I believe you. It's good to know that there are lizard folk tribes out there who could be allies." And he sort of looks to Braza.
They've sent a representative with us.
Oh, is this him?
I smile and sort of, as any lizard folk might, with just a little sort of a turn up of the mouth, and say, "I am your friend, I swear, and I'm honored to be here."
He says, "Well, it's good to have you. I hope in the times to come we can work together to fight off these cultists. But I'm just here watching the gates, so why don't you all come in and get safe, relax." It's evening time, by the way. It took you most of the day to get here, so it's probably about... it's late evening, the sun's setting, and everyone's kind of getting settled in for the evening as you enter the town.
Yeah, we probably need to go drop our stuff off and talk to Alfred.
Alright, so what are you doing first?
Nothing in the town. Like, do we have any? I don't recall. Do we have any like base of operations, like where we can just drop off our?
So you did have room at the inn. I think the guardhouse offered to put you up as if you wanted rooms there after what you did helping with the quarry incident. So I'll say you all have rooms at the guardhouse if we didn't say that before.
That probably.
Although the newer people wouldn't have rooms yet, unless you requested them.
Well, when we get there, I certainly would.
All right. So you head over to the guardhouse. You see there are several guards coming to and fro. They seem to be a little anxious. There's lots of talk, whispers of the attacks that happened just recently. As you approach, a man steps forward. And he says, "Kraken Slayers, is it not?"
Yes, it is.
He says,
"It's only one surviving member of the original Kraken Slayers, but we still go by the name."
He says, "Well, whatever you call yourself, my name is Captain Rains. It's good to meet you." And he steps forward to shake your hand. He says, "I don't believe we've spoken before, but I've heard of all the things you've been doing, and apparently you saved several of my men's life in that quarry incident. And you haven't spoken to Captain Rains before, right?"
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he was away according to my notes. I just want to make sure I'm not mixing that up. But he would recognize... who was it? He would recognize Carl and say, "Carl, you're alive. Where have you been?"
Wait, shit, it noticed me. Fuck. I was still hiding.
Oh,
well.
Were you just walking behind someone this whole time, trying to avoid everyone?
Yep, yeah. Avoid everything.
So yeah, he actually does have, I would say, pretty good perception, and he probably stepped forward and noticed you. But he says, "Where have you been? We thought you were dead."
No, I was just, at the inn most of the days, and went for a stroll. The usual.
He says, "For a stroll? God's damn it, man, there are lizard folk attacking the town, and our lumber camps have been under assault. You can't just be strolling around and not tell anyone."
Well, to be fair, though, in his defense,
You didn't let me, go search for the missing people, so I went on my own and had a small stroll.
He says, we went over this, friend. That was a council decision. I cannot just allow people to do whatever they wish. Although it seems you did get the prisoners back, so at least you were successful. I'm just
What
glad.
do you mean? I didn't go get the prisoners. The Kraken Slayers did. I just went for a stroll.
He says, were you not with them?
He's
I
one
was
pointed
also
us in the
as
right
far-
direction.
As far as you know, I was on a stroll, and I'm gonna wink.
He just gives you a bit of a side eye. He says, well, whatever the case may be, I'm glad you're all right. I was worried that the lizard folk had done you in. He says, so are you with these Kraken Slayers or not?
I mean, I bumped into them while I was looking for people.
Well, you went for a stroll, you mean, eh?
Yeah.
Still flock together, so he is now.
Seems like he's trolling Captain Rains a bit.
Yeah.
But he says... Sorry, go ahead.
One thing. I don't recall seeing you. Who are we talking to?
Captain Rains?
Yeah, do we know who
are
that
you
is?
asking him or me?
Yes, him.
Oh, he says, how rude of me. My name is Captain... Well, he'll say, I'm the captain of the guard here, Captain Rains, at your service. And he goes to shake whoever's hand is in front. He says, I was away from the colony, helping with some surveying efforts to the east. A strange cave was discovered, and I came in to help protect some of our troops as we were trying to figure out what was going on with... and he looks a bit nervous, and he says, well, there are undead within it.
That's the cave you've been talking about, I say to Chandra.
No, not this one. That's another strange cave.
There are more strange caves with undead in them. Oh,
Yes.
Captain
No,
Rains.
but there were no... There were undead, but they were there. I don't think that he's talking... Like, it's not an anchor cave, right? I asked Captain Rains.
He says, no, it's about a day's journey to the east of here. One of our scouts discovered it while mapping the terrain. There were just bones standing outside the cave. We were trying to... Well, we went closer to try to maybe clear them out and see what was going on, but it turned out there were more than we expected, so we fell back rather than chancing losing anyone.
Well, is it any trouble?
Says no. It doesn't seem like the undead roam far. They were just near the entrance, the ones we saw, and we fought some of them off. But again, more kept coming out. So I think if we left it alone, we'd probably be okay.
I think we probably should, because we have our hands full with the whole lizard folk situation right now.
He nods. He says, and of course the quarry is still a mess. We tried to get rid of those bugs, but we have still been dealing with swarms.
So I think we need to talk to Alfred, guys.
He says, well, it's good to meet you all. I have heard about all the things you've been doing, and if you have any needs, please just let me know. I'm happy to help. I heard you're staying in the barracks right now.
Yeah, you can find us there. Or in the tavern in the evening if we're having dinner.
He says, all right, excellent. Well, I will speak with you then.
So guys, let's go
take his
talk to the mayor. Let's go talk to the mayor about the attacks and what are their thoughts.
All right. I swear I keep hearing someone echoing.
Yeah, it's like a little noise occasionally.
Yeah,
like a ticking noise.
like a weird click. You hear it too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I can hear it too, but it's not an echo, I don't think.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, whatever it is, I'm not sure. But, alright, so you are going to City Hall.
Just pay attention to who lights up. It could be me. I'm doing like chores in the background,
Okay, yeah, I'll try to keep an eye
But
on
also-
that.
clearing stuff into the well.
I'm just pressing the mute button sometimes, but I don't know if it's loud or not.
I think it might be Braza, actually. It's like a little buzz or a static noise.
You hear it right now?
Yeah, a little
that's
bit.
that.
I thought I heard a pop and I think you lit up for a sec.
Pop?
Well, it sounded okay there. Alright, well, I'm not hearing it anymore, so. Alright, so you're heading to City Hall?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's getting pretty late now. It's definitely nightfall. The marketplace is closing up, and a bunch of the kind of laborers and people are coming in to go to sleep. There's a couple of guards at City Hall who recognize you and would let you in. Alfred is there, speaking with several people as you come in. He immediately runs over and says, "There you are. It's good to see you all. What in God's names are going on out there? We have attacks from lizard folk and undead in caves. Do you know anything about any of this?"
Those are not related. Undeads in caves, yeah, those things happen. But lizard folks, yes, those are the lizard folks that we were investigating. Those are the ones that were attacking our people, and those were the ones that we dealt with. But there were much more of them. A whole village, even like multiple villages, so they're pretty pissed at us.
He looks curiously at Braza and he says, and I am assuming you didn't bring one of those back.
No. Hello, my name is Braza. I think it's Mr. Mayor?
Says,
Alfred?
Alfred Hansgard, at your service. And he bows.
I bow right back. And I say, yes, as with all other sort of intelligent creatures, there are those who tend to be bad and those who tend to be good. And as with the lizard folk, well, you probably know, there are many that are good, which is where my town of Sharpscale, or the tribe of Sharpscale, what I am a member of, we are all good and try to help the other intelligent races of our land. But there are a group that worship a demon called Saturnak. I think that's right. And they are the cause of not only troubles to you, but troubles to my tribe and other kind tribes of the area.
I see. Well, it's good to meet you, friend, and I'm glad to hear that you work to help other intelligent races. Is there anything we can do to prevent these hostilities with the Sessanek? Perhaps this was all just some sort of misunderstanding, and is there a chance we could have peace, or is war inevitable?
Unfortunately, I think war might be inevitable. The conflict is coming.
We are not prepared to fight this type of enemy on the long term. We don't have enough soldiers. This is not good. He says I'll have to put in more requests from the mainland. Well, go ahead.
Braza, do you have any amount of numbers? Like, do you have any clue as to how many Sassenach worshippers there are in the area?
That's a great question. Would I?
So there are several large villages. You would probably, at least in this area, you would probably guess several hundred. So quite a few.
And how many of you oppose them?
Yeah, how many would be like the Sharp Scale tribe?
The Sharpscale tribe is a village of about 30, 40 strong. One of the reasons the Sessanek haven't just attacked and destroyed your people is because a lot of their work is based around conversion. So most likely they're hoping to someday either convert or imprison your people.
So I would sort of share that information, saying, yes, the Sassenach have several hundred that can be called upon, and they have been preying on my tribe and others to sort of sway them forcibly to their cult and use us even as slaves. And my guess is that they will do the same to the people here.
That didn't sound good.
Well, you would guess more likely they would just kill the humans. They probably have no wish to convert. Maybe enslave them, but less less about conversion for other races, more about just kill and eat.
Enslavement and killing. Okay. And stealing.
Well, this does not bode well. At least we know what we're dealing with. I thank you, Kraken Slayers, and I believe I owe you a bounty for what you've done.
Yes.
It did go a bit above and beyond what you asked of us.
You certainly did. Well, give me. I'll say up to. Well, what do you? Who's exactly talking right now? You said.
This was Kalen.
Kalen, give me a persuasion check.
Yes, I'm amazing at those. Give me a sec to get back to my computer. Character sheet and persuasion. Let's go.
He says, you certainly have, but unfortunately, with all these problems, our coffers are being tapped. I don't know if I can give you beyond what I promised. At least not right now. We've struggled quite a bit.
Let's not test our luck, Kalen. Let him at least give us what he promised, and not less.
We did lose one of our number as well. Oh well.
Who died, he said. He says, suddenly a bit concerned.
The Amra, the bard.
I see.
I'm afraid he took a few too many strikes from the lizard folk.
And also is not coming back to us. He parted. Well, he's alive, but he decided to go his own way.
I see. Well, Amra's songs will be missed. But I suppose that is just the price of what we must do. Did you bring his body back?
I carried it back to the camp, at least, where we met Ren and such.
We'll say you brought it back, so...
Because I didn't want to leave any trace as to who did this. I wanted the lizard folk, to think it was like some powerful group that didn't lose anyone.
Yeah.
So I brought back the corpse.
So he, we'll say he brought it back, and he says, I'll make sure that he is properly buried, along with others who've lost their lives for the colony. Well, there's quite a bit to do. I won't lie, Kraken Slayers. Things have been rough. We have been having problems with the quarry, so our stone supply has been taxed, and this new undead cave appears to the east. We don't know what to expect from that, and of course the lizard folk attacks. So you have your work cut out for you, but let me get you what we promised you, and he would get you your bags of payment, those of you who did have the contract.
Was it 40?
Sorry, what?
Was it 40?
Yes, I believe so.
I believe it was 40 gold, yeah.
I'm going to ask if it was last night that these lizard folk were attacking.
Says yes.
Is it quite possible that they'll be attacking again tonight?
That's what we're worried about. We have our people on watch in case they come back.
Have you improved the defenses outside the gate?
He says, well, we've repaired the gate, but, I mean, we've only had a day. There's not much we can do other than fortify the door and try to repair what they did. He says, we don't have our quarry, so... Well, even when we do, it'll take time to get an actual stone wall up, which is something we do want to work on. He says...
Oh, do you have a post on gates?
A post? You
Like-
mean guards?
Postern, like a secondary exit, maybe hidden, that can be used to ambush people besieging or something.
Yeah. He says we actually have near the back of the town. There's a kind of a secret hidden door.
I also called a sally port, if that might.
He says, so yeah, we do have a way to get troops out there, but we just our numbers are low, so we don't want to engage them in melee if we can help it. At least that's been the council's position.
Braza mentions out loud to the group, well, if we can get them bunched together, if they approach, I might be able to lay on the ground. I can cause these great vines of spikes to come up. And it would do them great harm. It would help keep them away.
He says, well, we'll be on guard tonight, and if they show up, any assistance you could offer would be appreciated. But why don't you all rest? You've probably become weary from your travels, and we're about to close up for the night anyway.
I think I actually agree with Brombeck on one thing, that if they are really dedicated to attack, and if they're really serious in their willingness, like to go to war with us, they will probably attack again this night. But if they do, I think we can spend some time like booby trapping the entrance in front of the gate.
Yes.
Can I ask a meta question?
Sure.
How did we meet Bombrek? I
Oh,
wasn't here for the start of the session.
Sure. He was in town. He had come here. I think he was actually looking for the Kraken Slayers as well, because he heard tale of them fighting off the Sessnek.
Okay, so yeah, I was just wondering, did he find us up at the Lizard Folk village? or-
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to. Bombrek wants to kill Sassenach people, and he knows the value of having allies.
Okay.
So he actually went to the Lizard Folk town looking for you because he'd heard that you had been there.
Okay.
And it just so happened that you were there.
Yeah.
He's actually a dwarf that's from this continent. He's from quite a long way up north. Not many people know that dwarfs live on this continent. Yeah.
Okay. So, have you stated to us your intention to rid the world of lizard folk worshipping
Yeah.
Sassenach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was.
made it quite clear that I'm only hanging around with you because of your intention.
Yeah, your character
Certainly at the
actually did have a little bit of a dialogue with him. I was playing you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you could probably see it in the stream if you want to go watch it later in the very beginning. But yeah, what does the group want to do as you settle in for the evening?
Settle
Toot
theme.
my horn.
I will just recommend the cards if possible for this night, because I feel like this night is the most likely for them to attack again. So if we can do some like oil or some traps, something in front of the gate where they're most likely to attack, so we need to prepare for a possible attack.
Well, I'm a trapper, so I can help with that.
We've got two trappers, and I have a trap on me.
So do I.
Yeah, so maybe we could. I
you
don't
wanna-
know.
Set up some defenses near the front gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing weighs 25 pounds, so I want to justify lugging it around.
Yeah, so maybe dig a little bit of a pit and put it on there, and then very clever, and then sort of camouflage it so it looks quite normal.
What skill would you use to camouflage the trap?
Survival, maybe?
Survival. Yeah.
Sure, I'll take that. Give me a survival check. The guards are kind of watching you all work out there.
Can I help? Can I
Sure.
help as I'm like, oh. What?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a survival check. All right. So yeah, you both actually do pretty well as you hide this trap in the dirt. The guards are keeping an eye out so they can, tell people who are coming not to step in it if anyone's coming in for the evening. So anything else you're setting up besides the traps?
If there's any wooden stakes anywhere, I think that might be a worth thing to have them. You know, like the sort of wooden stakes that they'd have in the, pointing out at an angle, just to slow down progress of people.
All right, so you kind of discuss this with the guards at the front gate.
Yeah.
They nod and they say, well, I don't know if we can get those tonight, but we can certainly talk to some of the woodsmen about getting some stakes made.
Right.
Brother, didn't you tell something about like a magical?
Well, yes, I was saying if I'm awake when they come, I could. I have an ability to use a spell called Spike Growth.
Okay. So it is not like a preventive trap; it's like an active trap while they're there.
That's right. I'd have to be awake and see them. And
Okay, I understand. But we'll make sure that it is like that. Yeah, I think at least nothing from me. I think I'm ready to go to sleep.
All right.
You have a load of javelins I could borrow, maybe.
I've got 4. I mean, I can lend you a couple because I'd want a
sounds
couple
good.
in case we need to throw them.
We could probably
Maybe
ask.
I can buy some. I can probably buy some here in town, maybe.
Yeah, so you can buy javelins at book price. They're selling them.
Yeah.
Can I get components? Can I buy components for my familiar spell?
Yeah. So yeah, I do think Braza, it's you that's doing the strange noises that I keep hearing. Are you using push to talk?
no.
That might help stop that, because it seems like when people are talking, sometimes I'll just kind of hear a weird like buzz come from you. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, so
All right, so you're getting settled in for the evening.
Before I do that, can I buy 20 gold of familiar components?
Yeah, you could find those at the marketplace. Someone would have those. All right. So,
By the way, I still got
I'll
some.
immediately cast one as a ritual, and I'll have a spare one.
all right.
I have some elven coins. Is there anybody here that would like in town that would do anything with them?
You could try to find a buyer for those. Give me a persuasion check.
Oof. Well, I mean, I'm well known here, but Here.
Well, at this
Rather
point,
than you need one.
though, actually, it is evening, so the market would probably be closed for
Oh,
the
yeah,
time
sure.
being.
fair enough.
So
In the morning.
yeah, you can wait till morning. So is the group? You're sleeping at the barracks, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So sure enough, during the night.
Can I ask? At what time at night did they show up last time?
Oh, they would say it was probably around midnight.
In that case, I would like to get up and get my armor and help stand watch, maybe around that time,
All right.
because my armor takes a while to get on and off, so I want to be prepared.
All right.
Of course, they could end up coming at another point in time, but I would stay up from like 11 to 2 or something. Then go to
Yeah,
bed.
that's fine. Why don't we do a quick 5-minute break? Let everyone stretch and use the bathroom if they need to, and then we will continue as we get into nightfall.
sounds good.
So I'll see everyone back here at 12:35.
Okie dokes.
See ya.
Welcome back.
We all back?
Are
I'm
we
here.
all back?
Back here.
Okay.
Carl's here. Kale's here. Bombrek, are you back?
No, he's the only one missing, I think.
All right, I'll give him a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just keep hearing this weird buzzing every now and then, and for whatever reason, I think it might be coming from Braza.
I don't know.
I don't know what would be causing weird buzzing.
Nah.
Or like just popping every now and then.
Yeah, there were two of them right there, like if you touch the microphone or something. Or if it brushes up against your sweater or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not even.
Maybe it's
My
just
mic is
the
muted, so I don't know.
sensitivity.
Yeah, I'm trying to move the sensitivity down. See if that works.
Yeah,
Push to talk.
push to
is the
talk
best
could be the best option till we figure that out.
All right. How about now?
Well, it doesn't always happen when you talk. It's like someone else will be talking, and I'll just hear like pop 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 coming from. I'm pretty sure from you because I see you lighten up when it happens.
Okay. It's my firm note taking.
Yeah, it's too much note taking. It's making all that noise.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're all back now.
Yep.
So during the evening, I heard that Kale is going to be near the gate, right?
Yeah, I would like to be up on the walls with the guards. If we do suspect there to be an attack in a certain time.
Or at least around the time, maybe you'll take a sort of like a watch during the time when you expect them to
that's
attack.
basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, and are the rest of you going to be at the barracks?
Well, where would I usually say?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually you'd sleep at the barracks. So, alright, we'll say that everyone's there. So during the evening, kind of almost around the same time that they described the night before, you hear some yelling up on the wall, Cal, and they say, "They're approaching! They're approaching!" And there's a bunch of yelling as guards are running to and fro. Cal, you're the only one upright now as this is starting. What do you want to do?
I want to blow my ram's horn really loud.
Oh, okay, you have a ram's horn. So there's definitely a louder noise from that than the yelling as a bunch more guards start waking up at the barracks. And I'll say the group is also shaken awake by some frantic guards yelling, "We're under attack again! Can you help us, Kraken Slayers?"
Well, I
I'm
pretty
gonna
much
get up.
my axe, so I'm going to leap up and make my way to the gate, or make my way certainly outside the guard's house for now.
Okay, so you kind of are meeting up with everyone. While this is happening, I assume you're all going to try to go to where the commotion is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So while this is happening, Cal, being at the front gate, you see a bunch of guards kind of up there firing down. There's a bunch of yelling, and you would hear hissing outside as your traps probably go off when they rush up at the gate. And there's some smacking as spears are hitting the gate and something is smashing into the gate that's pretty large. What do you want to do?
Is this a kind of wall that has battlements on it that you can stand on the wall, or are there like guard towers?
There's more guard towers, unfortunately. It's not built up enough yet to have battlements.
Is there room in any of they seem to be far away from the gate though. If the image of the map is correct.
So you mean the party?
No, I'm looking at the gates, and I'm looking at the map and where the towers are and
so
stuff.
there are towers, there are bigger towers here, but there are also towers next to the gate.
I would like to get up onto one of those towers if possible and see if I can chuck a javelin or 5 at someone.
Alright, so you're kind of firing down at them as they are attacking. You would see that there are a good 30 plus lizard folk outside attacking the gates. They're taking arrow fire, and you are throwing some javelins at them. Give me a d20 roll for your javelin attack.
Do I make a javelin attack, or do you just want a d20 roll?
Make a javelin attack. I'm gonna say you're attacking, using javelins for a while, throwing them down. You're definitely doing some damage to them, but the gate looks like it is starting to collapse. The group
How wide is the how wide are the gates in total?
The gate's about 10 feet wide, maybe 15
Right.
feet.
Okay. And are there many other guards around the gate waiting for when they...
So there are
collapse?
guards inside who are readied. When the group gets there, you would see that Cal is already up on one of the towers, hucking javelins down, probably like yelling. "Ah!"
Would also, if possible, yell. I forgot the word now. Barricade the gates. Like roll a wagon or something in front of it.
Yeah, so they have a bunch of people putting extra boards down, or boards across it, and they're trying to bring some wagons over. Captain Rains is also there, probably up on one of the towers firing. He would yell down, Kraken Slayers, do you think you could engage them maybe from the outside, to try to slow down their attack while we hit them with arrows from above. We can send you out with some of the mercenaries.
All right.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Boki is there yelling, "Oh, it's time! It's time to fight!"
Can I do a perception check before I head down from the tower?
Sure. What are you perceiving?
Trying to see what the opposition is. Have they brought giant crocodiles and stuff? Like, are there any of those pesky shamans out there?
So there are crocodiles, and there's a different lizard folk that actually looks a lot bigger than the others, roaring and giving commands, it looks like. Which you don't think you've seen before.
Okay.
But you don't think there are any shamans.
Ah, brilliant.
So if we
All right.
While all of this is happening, I am casting Mage Armor.
Alright, so Chandra's doing mage armor. Did you say something, Braza?
Yeah. So are we rushing out through the main gate that they're attacking?
I think we're using the postern, sally port.
He says there's a gate around the back of the settlement. One of my guards will show you where it is, and the guy nods nervously and says, "Come, follow me."
All right. That makes more sense. Thank you.
No, we're not
cast
sending
that
you
spell.
right into the... I would kind of defeat the purpose of barring the gate if we opened it up.
That's what I was trying to figure that out. What?
Alright, so the group is rushing around to the side. Boki is with you, and Zara are with you as well, along with some other mercenaries who you haven't really talked much to, along with some guards to help protect you. So, I'm going to say the group circles the gate coming out along the side. So you should... that's fine. You should see a blank screen right now, yes?
Yeah.
Alright, so you are rushing up on these forces from the side?
I suppose.
Yeah. How far away are we from them?
Here, give me a sec. I'll battle match you here. So it is nightfall. It's kind of hard to see, but you should start seeing things. In a
Especially-
moment. Carl, you might need a light source. I'm not sure if you can see in the dark. And Braza.
I can. I have dark vision.
Oh, okay. Well, that comes in handy.
Remember, I'm the one who has dark vision and is invisible to dark vision users.
Well,
Right.
if they have to depend on dark vision to see.
Yeah. If they, yeah.
Alright, so this is kind of what you're seeing here. If you zoom out a little, and actually, if you want to bring a torch with you, you can pull one onto the battle mat. 'Cause
I kind of feel that it would defeat the purpose of the ambush a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see if there's enough.
But we should get a light up so that people can attack
Oh,
it.
well, with Boki and all the other mercenaries coming with you, unless you want to ask them to stay behind, you're probably not going to be able to sneak up on these guys with all those soldiers.
Alright. Let's get a light up then.
Alright, so...
Whoever's got one.
under resources, lighting, you can pull a torch out if you need a light source.
I'm gonna swing my weapon with two hands, so I do not have a hand for torches. Anyone
Right.
else?
I think Chandra grabbed one, right?
Good.
Alright, so you come rushing up from the side, mercenaries yelling and troops kind of rushing up as you're trying to get them off the gate. Go ahead and give me initiative rolls.
Someone didn't press their.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure your token is selected.
Can I run Ruby for this, or do we not use her? at all?
I was gonna keep her out. I guess we could.
Yeah, we
run
can keep
though.
her out. We can keep her out. It's fine.
I'll say she's fighting in the background. Because there's actually a bunch of people there with you. It's not just you guys.
Yeah.
So...
I'm getting sick of these crocs and the lizard folk. No offense to you, Brazza.
Tired of your bullshit. Alright. Do we have everyone? Looks like it.
Can you remove my lantern?
Oh, you can delete it if you want.
Can I?
Yeah, if you highlight it and just click delete.
Ah, the lantern itself. Ah, yeah, okay. And then I'll... Yeah.
Alright. Sorry, I was just getting all the lizard folk. So...
Oh, did you get some feet to boost your initiative, Chandra?
Yeah, it is not
Yeah.
a feature of my...
Ah, yeah, of the wall wizard. Yeah, cool.
Alright, so a group of lizard folk kind of breaks off coming towards you as you're rushing out. Kind of slowing some of the pounding on the gate. You see behind them a much larger, muscular one coming to meet you as well. You see those three gators and the large one coming at your group in particular. So first to act, Chandra, what do you want to do?
The VAP is going.
Alright, so as they're rushing at you, you begin chanting, summoning arcane energies to cast web. Go ahead and place it where you want to put it. Alright, so there's an explosion of webbing all over the place as they hiss angrily, trying to avoid it. Now they get a dex save on their turn, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it for Chandra as they continue their approach. Brombrek, what are you doing?
Can I ask, where did you put the web, Chandra?
Do you not see it?
You can see them.
I do
You
not
can
see it,
them on
no.
the screen.
You might need to reload then, I guess.
Yeah, you might.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. I'm not...
Okay, well, Bombrek, who is holding on to a javelin at the moment, is going to move a little bit forward and throw a javelin.
Alright, so you move up.
Yeah. And let me just.
Are you raging?
Not at the moment, no.
Alright, so go ahead and give me a javelin throw.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I'm not under too much threat. So why is this? There we go.
Oh, good roll. So that is a long range shot. Who are you throwing it at?
The one that's nearest me.
Yeah, so that would be more than 30 feet, but even with disadvantage, a 17 would strike. So as the webs are appearing around him, your javelin comes soaring in and strikes him as he's rushing up. Go ahead and give me a damage roll. 7 piercing. Alright, so he doesn't look too wounded, but you did strike
I'm going
him.
to drop the last thing I'm going to do is drop my javelin and reach for my great axe.
Oh, well, you already threw your javelin.
Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah, I'm going to reach my great axe and I'm going to start...
You kind of inadvertently
huffing.
dropped it when you hucked it
Yeah,
forward.
indeed, yeah. I'm gonna start huffing and I look like I'm actually getting quite angry as I reach for my axe.
Alright, so mark yourself as holding your axe.
Indeed.
And that's it for Brombrek.
Yep.
The crocodiles go. So this one back here growls and saunters forward 20 feet. And moves forward another 20 feet, getting kind of caught up on the hill a bit. This one here has to make a dex save. So
14.
He attempts to dodge as your webs spring up around him. And he makes it. Wow, that was surprising. So he moves 10, 20. The lizard folk getting in his way a bit, slowing him down. Then another 20 with the dash. This other one will also attempt a dex save. He definitely fails it as he hisses angrily, getting caught up in the web. For his action, he's just going to try to break free, so he does a strength save. He would not break free, so he just struggles, the web moving around violently. That is it for the crocodiles. Kalen.
I'm sorry. Right. I'm gonna 30 feet. That's up there. So I'll walk up 30 feet and I'll use my bonus action to manifest echo. So I'm gonna use my new abilities and I'll shout, "Tempest, aid me!" and a magical translucent grey image of myself appears next to me.
Alright. Go ahead and link it.
Yes. Manifest Echo. It's got a armor class of 16, 1 hit point, immunity to conditions.
So I guess you use the 5-foot spell thing for that.
I'm sorry, what?
There's a 5-foot spell effect, like a square. You can use that to represent your echo.
Ah, cool. Cube 5 feet.
Yeah. So a shimmering Kalen appears seemingly from nowhere and roars.
Yeah. On your turn, you can mentally command the echo to move up to 30 feet in any direction. No action required. If it's more than 30 feet from me at the end of my turn, it is destroyed. So I'll send it down this way.
Okay. Anything else?
That is my bonus action. For my action, I will throw a javelin at the croc in front of me.
Alright, so you use your item interaction to pull a javelin off your back, taking your weapon in one hand and huck it.
Yes, please.
Alright, go ahead, give me an attack roll. Oh, crit. Good attack roll.
That's nice.
So as the croc is running up, you spear him for 16, and it looks wounded, hissing angrily at you.
Spear down his throat.
Anything else?
No, that will be it.
Alright, Braza.
Alright, so gonna move up 5. Use my movement to move up 5, 10, 15, 20, and then I'm going to try to drop spike growth on those in the web.
Alright, go ahead and link spiked growth. So 20-foot radius, so go ahead and pull a 20-foot radius spell and place it where you want it.
How do I do that? I don't know that.
Under resources in the journal, there's something called spell effects, I believe, and there's a 20-foot radius.
Aha! 20-foot radius. And then I just drag it over?
Yeah, like you're pulling your character or token out of the journal.
Come with me. Why are you coming with me?
You gotta make sure you grab it by the words, not the lines.
Yep.
If that's a thing. Alright, and...
So I was going to do it
right there?
there.
Right there? Alright. So you chant as angry-looking spiky vines start bursting forth, sending dirt flying. The lizard men hissing in confusion. And I think they take damage if they move through it, right? It's difficult terrain.
Right. It is difficult terrain. Every 5 feet they move, they take 2d4 piercing damage.
All right. So you
That's nasty.
you
That
finish
is nasty.
your chant. Mark yourself as concentrating, since you're concentrating on that spell, which I'll show you is this mark for future reference. The guy with the mark with the guy holding his head screaming.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, Carl, what are you gonna do back there? You there, Carl? You might be muted.
Yes, I was muted. I'm just gonna take out my bow and do what I do best. So I am gonna bonus action Hunter's Mark the healthy croc in front of us.
All right,
Let
so
me just Hunter's Mark. Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
all right.
Well,
so,
that I didn't want. I wanted the description, but yeah, my bad.
yeah, you can. So if you edit the spell, I think you can set it to show the spell card instead of the attack. And then if you want to show the spell or the attack, or actually, I think if you click the word bubble on the spell, that shows the description. But,
let's check. Yeah, that's weird because I think like this was already preset because I usually don't have. I usually
Well, you can play around
don't
with
do
it. That's
preset.
fine.
I usually build the sheet myself, but this time I used what's it called, Charactermancer.
All right, so he is surrounded by nature enemies as you mark him with your magics and begin concentrating.
And concentrate is this one. Here you go.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna try attacking it now that it's marked.
All right, so you
So
take a
here's the
shot.
first attack. First shot.
Oh, good
25 to
shot.
hit.
That would definitely strike as the croc is coming over the hill. You mark it, and it is hit for 9. Is that right? Anything from the mark?
Yeah, plus the hunters, which would be 1, so 10.
All right, so it growls angrily as it takes 10 points of damage, looking wounded.
And since it's my first turn, I can attack again. Well, I can do a second attack.
Yeah.
27 to hit.
Oh yeah. Wow. So another good shot as you
5.
pin cushion him for another 5 plus,
5 plus
Hunter's Mark.
Yes, plus Hunter's Mark, plus where is it? Dread Ambusher, which is plus 1d8.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. It hisses angrily and then falls over dead, not moving.
Don't expect that all the time, by the way. This is just my first turn. That's all I get.
Alright. Anything else?
And that's my turn. Nope, that's it.
Alright. Lizard folk go.
All not a wounded one.
So. This guy here is going to not step into the spikes, but instead stepping back out of them, which I don't think he takes damage.
Did they do? Can they see the floor?
Yes, because they saw him cast the
Okay.
spell. It's not hidden.
Fair enough.
So he steps back, so that's 5 feet, and then he's going to go 10.
Did he start in the spikes?
Yeah, but starting in the spikes doesn't matter. It's only if you move through them. At least from what the spell says.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything if you start your turn in them.
Yeah.
So he moves around this way. He sees Carl firing at his friends, but unfortunately he's still not close enough to really do anything. And you can see now that he has a club and a shield. So he's going to rush forward at Carl, hissing but unable to get there just yet. This guy here has to make a dex save. He does not make it, and he is ensnared. This guy here will also attempt a dex save. Oh, he also fails it, and he is ensnared.
Damn, that's a lot of flammable stuff on the floor.
Alright, this guy will try to dex save as well. He fails it and is ensnared. And they're all going to try to break out with strength saves. So I'm just going to roll strength saves really quick. The third one gets out. So he is able to move. The question is, does he want to move? He's going to try to get out of these thorns. So he's going to move here. So give me some damage. As the thorns poke him. Ooh, good damage. Yeah. He takes 8 points of piercing. Looking.
Does difficult terrain stack?
Yeah.
It doesn't stack, so it's just difficult terrain. It's not like it takes him 20 feet to move. It's just hard to move. So he moves there, then he's going to move here. So that's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then he's going to not like how this is looking. He's going to take the dodge action because he's already beat up a little. So that is it for them. Up north, you would see Boki is fighting a bunch of people. He is run in, as usual, Bokiness, and is surrounded by lizard folk as he roars and hacks at them.
He is a barbarian of some sort, right?
Yes.
We are quite a few people who haven't actually met him or played with him.
Okay. So yeah, some of you might not know much about who he is, but he does know some members of the party. Anyway,
Is
so
he from the village?
Yeah, he's from Dragon's Reach.
Then I would know.
So he's roaring, swinging wildly, laughing at all these lizard folk. And now the large one goes. He hisses angrily and says something in Draconic as he moves this way.
Who is the large one?
Skulking forward. He looks like a lizard folk, but he is like super strong looking. As if unnaturally strengthened somehow.
Okay.
And he seems to be moving a bit faster than the others. So he runs here, and then he's going to start rushing at Carl. Getting up to here.
Oh.
That is it for him and the end of the round. Chandra, what are you going to do?
I will cast Levitate on the big one.
Alright, so seeing him coming in, you begin chanting, doing a levitation spell. So immediately your web goes poof, as you end concentration on it, freeing these guys. And now he has to make what type of save? Con save. Alright.
Oh, worst kind of saves.
Worst kind. He looks pretty tanky, so you're hoping that this is effective. I believe he failed.
And he goes 20 feet into the air.
Okay. So as he's rushing at you, you chant pointing at him. And yep, he flies up into the air, hissing angrily as he is held aloft.
And then I will move towards here.
And you are concentrating again, I believe. So mark yourself.
Just I want to make sure to not be further than 60 feet. I feel I'm not.
Okay.
And,
so does he get a save every turn?
No. This is one time.
Alright.
He will be there as long as I'm concentrating.
Fair enough. Brombrek, what do you want to do?
Brombrek, seeing the free lizard, who is huffing and almost sounded like a barking, guttural barking as rushes forward at that lizard guy.
Okay.
No, he's in the air. If it's the big
No,
one.
the other one.
I think he means this one.
Oh, okay.
This one here, and he's going. He's going into rage, but he's not doing the other ability. Just get the right name for it. He's not going into
Frenzy?
reckless attack.
Reckless attack. Right.
He's just going into rage for now. And I'll take he's holding on to his great axe.
All right, so you rush at this guy, swinging your great axe wildly. But 11 would not be enough, and he brings his shield forward to block it.
Oh.
Anything else?
Okay. No, I'm just gonna stand there and look pretty.
All right, the crocodiles go. So this one here. What's he gonna do? I think he's just gonna rush Kalen. Running up, he snaps at you with his bite. Oh, yes, he would strike unless you got something.
Nope.
Alright, so you are bit by the crocodile for 11 piercing. His nasty jaw clamps down,
That's...
and I need... Oh, and you're
8.
grappled. So you...
Automatically grappled. Okay.
So he is holding on to you as he bites you. This croc back here is going to hiss angrily at all the vines. Move down here, taking some damage, because he technically moved part of himself through. So he takes 5. Then he's going to move out. 10, 15, 25. Actually, yeah, he's going to keep charging. That's why it wasn't set diagonal. Alright, so he rushes forward through the trees, coming up to here, ending his turn. And behind him, from the main force, several others are now breaking off, seeing that their people are being taken out. So a few more crocodiles are joining the fray from back here. They kind of move in this turn, so they don't actually get to move. They get up to about here. That's it for them. Kalen, what are you going to do?
Right. I'll command my echo to go up on the other side of this croc, and I will attack it.
The ghostly figure moves around, and you attack.
And I will attack it from the echo's place.
Oh. Alright. Yeah, 19 would definitely land as you cut into him for 8 slashing.
No. Let's reroll that 1d6. So we add 5 to that, so that's 13.
Alright, so that would cut into him for 13, taking him down. And you are no longer grappled. Anything else?
Yeah. Yes. Let's see now. Snap to center. I'll head over to the other crocodile down here.
Alright, so you rush past the rock.
20 feet, and I'll use my War Cleric feature. My character sheet failed me. Give me a sec.
To attack again?
To attack again, yes. Sir. War Priest.
Alright, so you rush
There
forward.
That one. So I use my bonus action, yeah, to strike at that as well.
Oh!
And that's a miss.
Oh, the croc would scurry sideways as your blade smacks into the ground. Anything else?
No, I suppose that's it.
Alright, Braza. What are you gonna do?
All right, he's going to move. Let me see, 5, 10, 15, 20. He's going to move down to here behind the rock.
Okay.
And he's going to cast. He's trying to figure out whether he has a clean shot at the croc if he uses his burning hands and doesn't hit Kale.
I thought Burning Hands was 15 feet.
It is.
It is. All right, so let me see. All right, so how much movement did I have left?
I think you moved 20?
Yeah, so I'll move up 5 more. Now that should put me in range. Yep.
That's
Well,
20,
I think
isn't it?
I think you need one more square,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
which I think you have enough movement for, so you should be okay. All right, so you move up to the edge of the line of your burning hands, and I'm assuming you're firing them out at him.
Yes. Here it
Right.
goes.
So Kalen is a little toasty, but luckily he angles it so the majority of the flame does not strike you. Though you may have just set the wall on fire. 13. The croc will attempt to dodge that. So he makes a dex save. It looks like he would make it, so he takes half damage, which
6.
is 6 damage. He just manages to get out of the way, and there is a little bit of a burning on the tree there. Luckily, the wall is not as easy to set on fire.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll end my turn.
All right, Carl, what are you doing?
If I wanted to put a spear under the floating lizard, would that be not an item interaction, an action?
I mean, if you were setting it up to like stab him when he came down, it would probably be an action.
Oh, frick. Never mind then. Could I shoot at him, or is he floating up too high? Would it be too hard?
He's only about 20 feet off the ground, so you could shoot at him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bonus action hunter mark, move my mark from the dead croc to him, to the floating nerd, and I'm gonna shoot him.
So moving the energy, you take a shot. 27 would strike. He would take.
That's some nice rolls there, Carl.
16. Still looking pretty hardy. It just kind of got stuck in his armor. He's not bleeding yet. Anything else?
With Boki, knowing Boki, would he need help? Since I know him.
So he looks like he is holding his own for now, but he is taking on a lot.
I will start moving.
Okay.
There you go.
Did the AOE move at all? I thought I just
Yeah,
saw
it did.
something.
It moved to the west. Yeah. There we go.
All right. So Carl, that was you. The lizard folk
Yep.
go. All right. So this dodging one sees Kale attacking the croc, and he's gonna rush up, stabbing at you. He lunges forward with his club. Oh, crit. Alright, well. He
Ouch.
clubs you for 11. Poof. Right across the
That's
face.
not nice. So, 8.
Alright, and then he hisses angrily and tries to bite you. That would strike unless you have a reaction or
Nope.
anything. So you're
I did.
struck for another 3 piercing as he bites into your shoulder, maybe a little.
So this, let's see, heavy armor master. Can it reduce it down to 0, or is it always down to 1?
I
It's
think it would
reduced
reduce
by
it to
3.
0 then, so you wouldn't take anything. He would bite your armor, maybe.
Good.
He kind of gnaws on your plate on your arm. This guy here is not liking his life right now as he sees spikiness all over the place. I think he's gonna huck. Or wait, does he have something he could throw? Yeah, he can javelin. So he's gonna javelin, but it is long range, so he has disadvantage. He javelins at Kale but misses. This guy here behind him is going to do the same. And that would miss as well, thanks to the disadvantage. This guy here is going to... looks like he's looking at Bombrek, but the leader yells something at him. And he is going to start moving south, giving you an Oppie Bombrek if you want to take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Alright, so go ahead and spend your reaction and give me a weapon attack.
Okay.
Oh, that would be just enough. So you land a solid blow as he attempts to move away from you. Oof. You make him regret that decision, wounding him with the attack. But he continues. I think he would get to here, and he's going to huck a javelin at Chandra. He would strike unless you got something.
Shield.
Alright, so
+5.
use your reaction, spending a first little slot, throwing your hand forward as the javelin shatters off of your invisible barrier. He screams angrily at you. These guys up here are fighting Boki. They are not doing well as Boki fells one of them. He yells, "Ha! Is this all you have?" That is it for the lizard folk. The king up top is going to look down at Carl. Now, he's going to take an attack at... he's going to throw his trident on his back down at Chandra.
Who still is?
Disadvantage, and you are shielded, so it's not looking good. No, he completely misses. Hisses with frustration. That's it for the king. Chandra, what do you want to do?
So this guy's wounded, right? Magic missed this guy.
Alright, so you chant as 3 little darts appear. You kind of point, streaming them forward, doing 9 points of damage. He looks badly wounded, but he is still up.
Damn. And then I'll move away.
Alright, so you back up a bit. Brombrek.
Well, I don't like a job that's not finished. I'm going to move down here, and this time I'm going to use. I'm using rage. This time I'm also going to do a reckless attack. So I don't know whether I need to do anything with reckless attack. Do I?
You would have advantage, I think.
Yeah, there's no way of activating it. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Well, you do activate it. It just means that you are attacked at advantage from other creatures as well.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
But luckily, you've done a good job at keeping these guys back. Ooh,
Damn
no. Even with your reckless advance, he pushes you back with his shield, keeping himself safe. Anything else?
No, I don't think there's anything else I can do at the minute.
Alright, so the
Look at my
crocodiles...
axe pointedly, that's what I'm doing.
Come on, Axe, get in the game.
Yeah.
The crocodiles rush forward.
Not everything is lost. He will get an OP from you if he moves towards me.
Can I ask a question though? Those 3 crocodiles, they appeared after the thorn was cast, so do they know it's there? Or do they have to do perception checks?
So they were over here at the front gate. They weren't that far away, so I'd probably say they saw the spell being cast. They're not super bright, but they do see thorns, and they'd probably try to avoid them. So that's it for them. They just move. Kale, what are you gonna do? Or Cal, sorry.
Oh, it's Kale.
Or Kale. I got it right.
Yes, you did. Kalen. Alright, I'll have my Echo move up this way. And I will attack the lizard folk.
Alright, so you attack the one that's... Actually, he's not dodging anymore. That's gone.
And I am wondering, like, am I able to flank with my own...
I don't think that you can flank with your Echo, because it's technically still just you.
That's fair enough. In that case, I'll just move him down this way anyway. Okay, I'll ignore the lizard folk then. I'll go straight for the crocodile.
Alright, so while he's biting on your arm plate, you kind of swing your weapon around at the croc. Ooh.
Come on!
Oh, but the croc would dodge out of the way again. He's slippery.
I'll unleash Incarnation, which is this thing, allowing me to attack again from the Echo's position.
Alright.
And swing again! For Tempest!
So that time you land an attack, skewering him through. He falls over dead.
Oh! It was that injured. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mark it. He was injured.
Good. I'll use... Yes. For my bonus action, I'll use my last War Priest attack.
Alright.
Removing that. And attack again at the lizard folk warrior thing.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. He's dead.
Hopefully. I'll reroll the 1. 6 minus 1, and... Oh. Damn it, that was not my intention. I'll do it proper. So it's, the 16 plus 5. It's 21 damage.
So he is slain as you cut
decapitating him. Hopefully. That would be my turn.
Alright, Baraza, what do you want to do?
Alright, I'm gonna summon my wildfire spirit. And
Alright, where are you summoning him?
I was gonna summon him right here, where I'm trying to ping.
So you can probably... I think I need to make you... Or wait, do we still have the other Wildfire Spirit token? I guess we could use that for now. So...
Drop it right there. Because these two are too far away from me.
Alright, so under Resources, Summon, there is something called Urgos, which you should be seeing momentarily. Go ahead and grab that and drop him where you want the Wildfire Spirit. Alright, so as he appears, I think he blows up, right?
Yeah, so anything that's in 10 feet of it takes 2d6 damage. We get a, what is it, a dex save?
Yeah, I believe it's a dex save. So the crocodile will indeed try to get out of the way, but will fail miserably. So give me 2d6. 7 points of damage. This croc hisses from his burns. Alright, anything else?
Dale, how injured are you?
I'm about half.
Okay.
I'm lacking 16.
So if you have medicine, you can actually know someone's hit points, one person per round.
Oh,
Alright.
cool.
I don't know if you have that trained. That's a house rule.
Alright, that's fair. I was just wondering if I could visually see how injured he was.
So if you don't have medicine and you look at someone, they would either look like they're injured or not injured. So either they're below half or they're not below half.
Fair. Alright, so then...
Not quite below half.
Not half. Okay. So then I'm just going to move back. Oh no, I'm going to move forward 5, 10. It's behind the tree.
The burning tree? Alright.
For the burning tree.
Alright, anything else?
That's it.
Alright, your turn would end. Carl, what are you going to do?
But now I think, isn't it the token's turn? Ergos?
What did you command him to do?
Going to command him to fire a seed.
Oh, wait. I think to command him is a bonus action, isn't it?
Would be. But I didn't use my bonus action.
That's right. All right. Yeah, you summoned him as your action. So sorry, what are you commanding him to do?
He can fire it's called the fiery, it's the flame seed.
All right.
Flame seed.
He can do that, but I believe that's a ranged attack. And being that the croc is next to him, I think that would be a disadvantage.
It would be a disadvantage.
So go ahead, give me a flame seed roll at disadvantage.
How do I do that? Because it doesn't show up in my...
So, do you have a macro set for it?
No.
Like a spell attack macro by chance?
No.
So it would just be a d20 plus your proficiency plus your wisdom modifier at disadvantage.
Alright, so the spell attack bonus is 5, right?
Yes, I believe. Well, so what's your wisdom? Plus 3?
Yeah, so it's plus
So
3
yeah,
plus
that would be plus 5 then, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so... No!
Oh. Alright, so Aragos is kind of freaked out by the crocodile, or whatever your flame spirit's called, and he just sort of spits fire, but would miss.
Yep.
Alright, now, that's it for you, right, Braza?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, Carl, what are you going to do?
I am gonna shoot an arrow to the flying. How long is he still in the air for? How long does it last?
Until Chandra loses concentration, or a long time.
Yeah.
Or a long time? I have 5 seconds. Oh no, I have 5 seconds.
You're done.
No.
Oh,
see,
but
that's what the stress made.
Yeah. Carl is a little stressed by the timer and would miss the first shot. Is that for you?
And my only, the first and the only shot.
And the
Yes,
only
it's a
shot.
+8. That's a +8, and I still missed. And I'm gonna still, I'm gonna make my way towards the barbarian.
Okay. The lizard folk go. So this guy is gonna sigh and he's just gonna rush forward. Getting hit twice, so 4d4 damage. That would be Braza.
Andra? No, I mean Braza. Yeah.
What happened?
Your guy rushed through
You
your
need-
spikes, so he takes 4d4.
Yeah, you need to do /R 4d4.
4,
Yeah.
44?
Yeah, he ran through 2 spots.
No!
Oh.
Luckily, it doesn't hurt him too bad. That could have gone much worse.
Could've gone worse.
Let's see, that's 10, 20, 25, 30. And then he's going to rush this way another 30 feet, but he can't attack just yet. So he has his shield and club. This guy's going to rush north, also taking 2 spots worth of damage, so another 4d4. Yeah, Fiery Teleport is a good one for AoE
Yeah.
damage. But the other one's good for kind of longer distance. Do you have the
Yeah.
4d4 damage?
Yep.
Alright, so he is stabbed a bunch, taking 8 as he rushes this way. So that was 25, 30, then dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
By the way, wasn't Sarah around here somewhere as well?
Who?
Sarah? Or
No,
is it
she's kind of up north with Boki and a bunch of the other mercenaries fighting, but she's not in any danger right now, so I didn't reveal her. She's somewhere. Alright, so that's it for them. The lizard folk up top is going to thrust around angrily, but I don't think he can do anything, so he's stuck. Chandra, what do you want to do?
I will throw a firebolt at this guy.
Alright, so as he is turned around towards Brombeck, you chant, hucking a firebolt at him. 14 would just miss as he turns around at the last moment and blocks it with his shield.
And then I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Alright, so you move up north, and you have your reaction back, so you can give that back to yourself. Anything else?
Nope.
Alright, Brombeck.
Right, I'm going to continue with the reckless attack, which I think gives me advantage. I'm still enraged, and I'm going to hit the one that I tried hitting before that's sort of to my southeast.
Alright.
Injured one.
I'm going to swing the axe around.
You swing at him recklessly.
Cut him in half.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's going to do it. That's going to do it.
Definitely, as he's blocking Chandra's bolt of fire, you catch him off guard. And the damage roll.
Do I get additional damage for reckless attack?
No, just the +2 for raging.
Okay. Right. Jeez. Down here.
So if you click on Great Axe in chat, it'll roll the damage for you.
There it is. Yeah.
Alright, so you indeed cut him down for 8 damage.
Now that I've killed him, I'm going to use my double weapon thingamajiggy. What's it called? My Great Weapon Master.
Great. Do you have Great Weapon Master?
I have Great Weapon Master. And with Great Weapon Master,
Attack again.
I'm going to turn around and I'm going to hit the guy on the other side.
Alright, so you cut through him, trying to cut the second guy down.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 23 cuts into him as well.
Okay.
So he is caught off guard as you bury your axe in his chest. He goes down.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is good.
Feels good, right?
Yes, I scream in delight.
Right.
Boki is jealous.
Now Bogey is having the time of his life up north. He's not going to be sad for a fellow barbarian getting kills.
I'm gonna shout 2 to Boki.
Bogey! He's like, who are you? As he continues to kill lizard folk.
Yeah. 2-1.
Alright, so that's it for you. The crocodiles go. Alright, so this one here is going to snap angrily at Aragos. Snap. What's Aragos' AC? Or what's your flames rate? 13. Alright, he would get snapped for 6 piercing, and he is grappled. Or grabbed. Which probably doesn't matter because he can teleport, but for now he's grabbed.
Crocodile's tongue slightly hisses.
Yeah. This guy runs up this way. And then 40 feet to here. This guy runs up this way. 40 feet. And that's it for them. Kale.
Right. I'm gonna trust Braz has got the western croc, so I'll move 30 feet off this way.
Oh, shoot.
And
I was about to drop micro on them, all three.
You got this, Braz.
I'll have my echo join me.
Oh, it's just...
Actually, I'll have my echo go. No, never mind. Yeah, over here. And it's time to go mental. Let's see. I need to get my character sheet back up again. It keeps closing down.
You can minimize it by double clicking on the top.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'll shout for tempers. Stupid croc.
Well, apparently that gets you a crit.
Woohoo!
Oh.
Re-rolling both 3d6s. Re-rolling 3d6 minus 3. So 3d6. So we have 11 plus 11, 22 damage. Oh wait, it's 111. I re-rolled 111 to 554.
Gotcha. All right. So he is cut down with that crit.
Sweet.
Anything else?
No, I'm happy.
Braza,
it.
what are you gonna do?
All right, so Braza is going to cast. He's going to drop the one spike growth and concentration on that, and then cast it again.
All right. Where are you putting the new spike growth?
Yeah, try to get it like right. That I'm just gonna do it like right there. Oh, hold on, stop back. There we go.
Right there. All right. So the vines kind of disappear back into the ground as you bring up new ones to the north of you. So that was your action. Anything else?
Yeah. So then just gonna move back here, and that'll be it. And then I'll go to Urgos, and he will teleport. How's he gonna teleport? So he could teleport. How far can you teleport? All right, 15 feet. So I have him teleport to there. And then it does 1d6 plus proficiency bonus fire damage.
All right.
On a deck.
So the croc will fail his deck save. So go ahead and give me some damage to him. He is burned for 2 plus 2, so 4, right?
Yep.
All right. So he is looking pretty beat up at this point, but still alive. Carl, you're done, right, Braza?
Yeah.
All right, Carl, what are you
I'm
doing?
gonna poke if he's doing all right. See if he needs some help.
I'm fine, he yells.
Well, I'm gonna start walking back to and shooting the leader, or whom I believe is the leader.
All right, you take a shot up at him.
And this time I have all the time in the world, so I'm not gonna miss. Lucky. Thank God for lucky. Thank halfling.
Your bowstring
halfling.
gets all tangled. You're like, yeah.
With
16 would strike though, as your lucky prevents the one, and you do 7 points of damage. Anything else?
Nope. That Nope, that's it. I can't. I have a question.
Yeah.
That's just like, uh, it's not a spell, but I'm guessing it's concentrate to favorite foe. Would it count as a concentration as a spell, right?
Unless it says it's concentration, then favored foe is probably not concentration.
Because it says, what exactly does it say? It says, as if you were concentrating on a spell.
Oh, well then yes, it would
So-
be concentration.
As in, like, you can't concentrate both on that and a spell.
Yeah, if you had a concentration spell going, then it would end when you did favored foe.
Alright. Just checking.
Okay, so Boki is fighting the lizard folk, and he fells another 2 of them. And they are still there. He's a little bit beat up, but he's still doing okay. This guy here says some expletive in lizard folk, as now there are vines in front of him again. He's gonna turn around and 15, 20, 25, 30. And he's gonna huck his trident, or oh no, he doesn't have a trident. Never mind. He's gonna huck a javelin at Aragos. Aragos would be struck because his AC is not very high, taking another 3 points of damage.
Right.
How many HP does he have?
He has 25.
Alright, so he's still looking pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
Over at the wall, the lizard folk are starting to retreat. Lizard folk king is still stuck. Chandra.
I'll use my action to levitate Lizard Folk for 20 more feet up. So now he's 40.
Okay. Anything else?
And then I probably will move here.
Brombrek.
Yeah, there's nobody really close to us, are there?
No, the lizard folk at the gate are sort of being pushed back with all the arrows, and they're kind of just retreating at this point with their leader stuck.
I'm going to move here and yell, drop him. That's what I'm going to do.
Alright, the crocodiles go. This one here is going to keep going for Aragos because he's not very smart. Tries to bite him. He would indeed bite him. For another, 12.
Nope.
So that would put him almost dead, but he's still up. And he's grappled again. This guy here is going to hiss and move south, taking 4d4 damage.
Well, sorry, just one thing. Like probably maybe.
What's up with your rolls, dude?
What is that?
How did that happen? How did
God.
They're weighted. They should. That's a really low chance of that happening.
Holy cow.
What were you saying, Chandra?
I was saying that when you say drop it, did you actually mean that you're ready an attack? Because you moved and you didn't do anything.
Yes, I've moved. I'm holding on to my axe. I'm yelled drop it, and I'm looking up at the
I kind of
the big lizard floaty guy because I'm waiting to. Yeah, I'm
You
waiting for him to
intended-
fall.
You intended to ready an attack, but you didn't really say.
Yeah, you have to say you're readying an attack if you're doing that.
Oh, apologies. I'm readying an attack. Yeah, drop
Alright.
it, and I'm readying an attack. Apologies.
So when he's in range, you will swing at him. But this crocodile is going to bite at Cal. Oh yeah, he would strike. Not very well though. He only hits you for 4 piercing, which is down to 1, and you are grabbed again. Kale, what do you want to do?
Bloody crop. Yeah, I've got to. Do I? No, I don't have a way out of this. Alright, I'll move my echo over this way.
Okay.
And I will use my bonus action to swap places with it.
Alright, so you are no longer being restrained. Instead, your image is being restrained.
Yeah. And I will attack the croc from a new position.
Okay. Alright. So that would crit for another.
And I will re-roll 3d6 minus 5.
Should we rename ourselves Croc Slayers?
Adding 8 damage, so 23 damage for that crit.
Alright, and he is dropped. Anything else? Alright, Braza.
Okay. Fine.
All right, so for my bonus action, I'm going to have Aragos move back. Fiery teleport 15.
Alright, he poofs away. So that guy gets a dex save. He will make it, so he does not take damage that time as he dodges. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to move up 15 and cast Burning Hands.
Alright, so you spend the spell slot doing some Burning Hands, and you'll try to dodge that as well.
Yep.
What's the DC?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it up.
Three crits in a row. That's insane.
He will make it, so he only takes 6 damage. And he is looking very badly wounded.
All right, so I'm asking my 15 movement and move back 15.
Alright, you back up again. Carl.
It's me. I'm Carl.
Indeed. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna keep hitting the one I can. I've been focusing. And this one, I am not gonna roll a 1. Check this out.
Alright, well,
It is
didn't roll
technically
one.
not a 1. That's a 5.
he will block it with
Yeah.
his shield while floating there.
God fucking damn it. I'm just gonna hide behind the tree before he gets annoyed by me.
Alright,
And that's my turn.
hide back there. The lizard folk go, continuing to fight Boki. They continue to do poorly, and he will slay the last 2, although he looks wounded now. Roaring. Ah!
Guy's a legend.
He says, "Who's next?" That's it for him. The lizard folk is, or the king is still up there being levitated. New round, Chandra.
I'm looking at Brom. Do you really want to do this? Let's
What?
finish the small ones. And I will cast Firebolt onto...
Alright, so you aim at that croc over there, chanting, shooting a firebolt. Oh, yeah.
Nice!
Well, that actually is enough to kill him. As he's
Wow.
very damaged, and the firebolt is just a little too much. He goes down. Anything
Okay.
else?
And then I will... Yeah, I will move away here, which will take me out of range, and he will fall to 46.
I think he floats to the ground when the spell ends.
Well, Really? Well, it will.
I didn't think he did that.
I'm pretty sure under the spell description it says when the spell ends,
Let's
he
see.
just
If
floats to
I
the ground.
end it. Otherwise, you can redirect which remains in this parent.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't use a spell like a drop like that to do
Okay.
damage.
Yeah, it says when the spell ends, the target floats
then I
gently to the
will-
ground.
Then I will not be doing that. And then I say, just fire at him. I don't want to take chances.
Alright, Brombrek, what do you want to do?
Brombrek just lost his rage.
Yeah, Brombrek is no
'Cause he
longer
didn't.
raging.
Attack.
You kind of
Well,
come down off your rage.
Yeah, I've come down off my rage. I seem to. I've sort of a bit bewildered as to where I am. I'm looking up. I'm gonna spend a round changing from an axe to a javelin.
Alright,
I can't
so
throw
you have
my
to
axe
spend
at
a
the fire.
round. You can actually hold your two-hander in one hand while you pull a javelin off your back as
Yeah,
an item interaction.
Okay, I'll do that. Getting ready to attack or throw the javelin.
Well, you can throw it this round if you want. You haven't used
Oh,
your
okay.
action
I'll
yet.
throw a javelin. I'll throw a javelin at the guy.
Alright, you huck it up at him. He's at 40 feet, so that would be at disadvantage.
Yeah, I should not have raised him. I thought that he would fall.
Yeah, I did too. Actually, I must admit.
Yeah.
No, 11 would not be enough, and he blocks that with his shield, hissing and yelling and draconic at you. Anything else, Brombrek?
No, but I will say I am surprised that I don't get advantage because he is floating in the air and doesn't have the use of his feet to move around. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's for balance reasons, because it's only a second level spell. But he does have his shield, and he can still kind of move a little, so... the crocodiles go, which they are all dead. Kalen goes.
Right, so this one over here is still alive, right?
He is.
I will charge him then.
Alright, so he's kind of coming at you when you charge at him first.
Let's see if I can go 4 crits in a row. What?
Apparently
Is
okay.
something? Is seriously something wrong?
I can't believe
kidding
what's
me?
going on here.
Are you?
I got 4 1.
I'm using the attack Can you check my attack statistic?
I mean, it
DM?
says it's a roll, so... Try rolling again.
That's 6 crits in a row.
No, it's 4.
That's not in a row.
4.
I just rolled again, so...
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think it's just Roll20's luck system.
Holy Well, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just like...
Alright. So...
1d6 minus 2. I'm gonna reroll that 2 and add 1 damage, so 21.
Alright, so that would cut this guy down. Anything else?
I'm feeling like I'm doing my bit here. I'm almost feeling like... Yeah. Almost feels like cheating.
Alright.
I'll head back here and swap places with my Echo again as a bonus action.
So, at this point, the guards are sort of coming out very carefully, coming to join you guys, and they keep an eye on the retreating lizard folk to make sure they don't double back. The captain walks over, looking at the lizard folk floating up in the air, and he orders his men to get into position. He says, "Who's holding him aloft?"
I raise my hand.
He says, "Alright, bring him down slowly. We're going to capture him."
Exactly.
Alright, and this is where combat would end unless anyone's doing something.
Yep.
I'm good.
Luckily, I'm not raging, so I'm not going to try and kill him.
Alright, so he is taken prisoner as he hisses and rages a bit, but he is unable to do much with all these guards around him. And he says, the guard captain says, "Good work again, Kraken Slayers. You've helped us quite a bit. Thank you."
Mostly welcome.
Alright, so things kind of go back to normal as people are settling down. Boki congratulates you all as well. He says, "Well fought out there, everyone. We kept this place safe once again. I think we should rename your group the Lizard Folk Slayers."
No.
now it's Kraken Slayers or nothing.
He looks
It's
at
our
he
those
looks
are
at
our rules.
he looks at sorry, what's his name? Braza, and laughs a bit. He says, "Ah, my apologies, I forgot. We do
Thank
have
you.
we do have some non-evil lizard folk in this settlement, I suppose." He says, "Well, let's have some drinks."
Someone's at my door.
Hell yeah, drinks.
Now would be the time to launch an attack on the village to the west.
So, Braza, were you saying something there? Sorry, did you get cut off?
No, I just said, thank you for apologizing.
Oh, of course. So with the guards kind of keeping an eye on things, the mercenaries go back to the inn to celebrate. A couple of guards were lost in the attack, but none of the mercenaries were killed. So, and the lizard folk took very heavy casualties. So all in all, it was a win. So you retreat to the Dragonfire and celebrate a bit as the group is toasted by several of the patrons, as well as some of the mercenaries, as you gain even more fame.
I'm gonna have to go now. I have visitors.
All right.
I'd whispered my MVP vote to you.
All right. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Same to y'all.
See you,
Thank
Ken.
you.
Yeah. Good
See ya.
job.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
So as you're talking and kind of laughing, you would be approached by Zana, who Zara, sorry, who also congratulates everyone, and she would say, "I had been meaning to speak to you all since you had returned. I might need your help with something. The quarry, the one where all the bugs are, I believe I sensed another magical signature coming from there, and I think I might be able to explore it or study it more thoroughly with your help, because I'll need protection."
Has it something to do with those crystals? What do you think?
She says, "No, it's not the crystals. It's a
The creature.
peculiar. She says, I still don't know what put those markings there, the magical ones, but I think there's a different magical signature coming from down there. I was near the quarry trying to do some magic detection when I sensed it. Something separate from what we saw. I would be very interested in seeing what it is, but of course I can't go down there myself."
Of course not.
"Oh, I'm sorry. I don't believe we met." She looks to Braza. And actually, the other one as well. Sorry, I'm forgetting names.
Bombrek.
Braza and Bombrek. She says, "I'm Zara."
I would say, go ahead, Bombrek.
I was going to say, hi Zara. Magic is an awful thing. If you need help vanquishing it,
She says,
I'll
"Well,
quite happily
I take a
help."
little bit of offense to that. I think magic is an amazing thing, but I suppose you're entitled to your opinion." And she crosses her arms a bit, giving you a bit of a look. She says, "I didn't see you on the boat, though. Where did you come from?"
I come from the north. The mountains far in the north is where my tribe originates from.
Oh, there are dwarves on this continent?
Indeed, there are. It's a line I've been hearing often since I've come south.
Fascinating.
There are dwarfs in this on this continent, and we've been here for for thousands, certainly hundreds of years.
Well, I assume you came up after the cataclysm, as most do, but how many are there more tribes like yours, or?
Yes, there are. There are more tribes like ours. I'm from the apologies, I'm just my thing. I'm from the Urzadai tribe.
Huh. She adjusts her glasses a bit. That is... I would like to speak to you more, maybe. I'm curious as to the origins of your tribe. And I assume this one, and she looks to Braza, is one of the friends that you made at the lizard folk tribes.
He's a good
Yeah.
lizard.
His name is Frost.
Braza, it's good to meet you, she smiles. As I said, I am Zara, a studier of the arcane arts, and she does a little smile and a flourish. But yes, if you all could help me with this project, I would love to find out more about the magic signature I sense down there. Obviously, you're all very busy with all the things that have been happening, but just in the future.
Future, of course. Like at this point, we need to prioritize. We have skeletons, we have undead in the cave, we have this one, we still have a big crocodile, still not all of those lizards are killed. So we probably have to think what we tackle first.
All right, well, just keep me in mind. It could be dangerous because we don't know what it is, and it is close to town. But obviously, and she kind of motions to the north gate. There are more pressing matters.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So I was thinking you all would celebrate a bit and go to bed after that because it is very late.
Yes.
And
Right.
that would probably be a good spot to end since we're at 2:00. Why don't we do some MVP votes? So give me a whisper with who you thought was MVP today. All right, I got 4 votes.
Kalen said voted before leaving.
Yeah, I got his. So it looks like Kalen is MVP. It's not surprising.
Now.
With what was it, 4 crits?
Yep.
So congrats, Kalen. If you're watching this later, just give yourself a inspiration point. But it's probably a good place to end. I'm going to take some notes, but you're all welcome to take off, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you very
Okie
much.
dokie.
Cheers. Thanks
See
a
you
lot.
later.
All right, stay safe. All right. Hope everyone had fun watching. See you next time.